Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is my first video and I'm going to be doing a free agency review of the NFC South. I'm hoping to do all the other divisions in the NFL, so if you comment below which division you want me to do next, I'll try and do that one first. Alright, the first team that we're looking at is the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers certainly had a busy free agency period, and the biggest signing was certainly Teddy Bridgewater, potentially a decent replacement for Cam Newton, who obviously struggled with injuries, and certainly an upgrade over Kyle Allen. Only paying him $63 million over 3 years is also good business on their part, I thought. The addition of Robbie Anderson is also potentially a good one. He's certainly got big play threat ability, and he just needs a bit more consistency, to be honest. Other than that, they didn't make too many significant moves. Signed PJ Walker, who obviously starred in the XFL, so it's nice to see him being given a chance, at least as a backup. Also gained some depth at wide receiver and across the offensive line. Looking at the players that they lost, they certainly lost some key players. Sort of at an end of an era with the departure of Cam Newton and Greg Olsen. Obviously, Ron Rivera gone as well, so that team that reached the Super Bowl is very little of it still remains. They also lost almost their entire defensive line, so yeah, it's going to be a very interesting season for the Panthers next year. Overall, I'd probably grade them C+. I really do like the Bridgewater signing. They get a lot of marks for that one, but at the end of the day, you cannot say that the Panthers got better as a team after this free agency period. They lost some key starters and didn't do enough to replace them. Hopefully for them, they'll be able to use their picks in the draft to address those issues. Moving on to the next team, we have the New Orleans Saints. They were quite aggressive in free agency and signed a number of big-name players, such as Jenkins and Sanders. Thought the deal for Malcolm Jenkins was quite long and expensive because of his age, basically. He's been in the league for over 10 years. I preferred that signing, just 2 years. Definitely a nice compliment to Michael Thomas. Obviously, re-signing Drew Brees was crucial. This is probably the last deal of his career, and I think they have a great chance to add to his one Super Bowl win already. I also quite like the signing of DJ Swearinger on a 1-year, just $1 million deal. He was one of the best safeties in the league just a couple of years ago, so yeah, very low risk. In terms of departures, they really didn't suffer many at all. Teddy Bridgewater obviously went to the Panthers, but Brees and then potentially Taysom Hill means they're not short of quarterbacks, so won't hurt them too much. They actually only lost 2 starters on their whole roster, which were Von Bell and AJ Klein. And yes, it'll hurt a tiny bit, but I'm sure they'll get over those quite quickly. So overall, I grade their free agency period an A. Definitely improves their chances of winning the Super Bowl, and this is clearly a team that's all in on the next 2 years. The next team we have here is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Obviously, they signed Tom Brady, which was possibly the biggest move out of the whole of free agency, leaving New England after almost 20 years there. A 2-year, $50 million deal, so considering he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league still, they didn't actually pay him too much money. I'm sure he's very excited to be playing with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and they definitely have a chance to do something special next year. Keeping Shaquille Barrett for at least another year with the franchise tag was also crucial. He had 19.5 sacks last year, so if he can sort of build on that or even just match that next year, I'm sure they'll be delighted. Also retained Ndamukong Suh and JPP. Suh particularly was quite a cheap deal, so I think they'll be quite pleased with that. In terms of departures, Winston obviously left. He was just never consistent enough. He showed flashes, but he turned the ball over far too much. So yeah, I don't think Bruce Arians thought that he could contend with him at quarterback. Also losing Brashard Perriman is possibly a slight blow. He certainly had flashes last year, had a couple of nice plays, had a couple of nice games, because it's nice to see him trying to rebuild his career after he obviously struggled after being drafted in the first round with the Ravens. Overall, I'd give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers an A for their free agency period. Like the Saints, they definitely improved as a team, made some big moves, and kept Barrett as well. I think that they're definitely contenders, but we just won't know until we've seen how they play. The final team we have in the NFC South is the Atlanta Falcons. They had a very active free agency period and made a number of aggressive moves. Trading for Hayden Hurst gives them a good replacement for Austin Hooper. Also signed Todd Gurley and Dante Fowler. If Gurley can return to his form from before this season, then that could be a great move for the Falcons, because it will give them one of the best running backs in the league. If not, it's a one-year deal, only $5 million. Relatively little risk. Dante Fowler should give them a premier pass rusher, so that also seemed to be a good move. Moving on to departures, they lost Beasley, but they've replaced him with Fowler, arguably an upgrade, so not too detrimental to the team there. Desmond Trufant left. He was a team legend, but he was beginning to get old, and at the cornerback position, he probably only has a couple of years left in the league. Freeman, similarly, a Falcons legend, but he was aging. At the running back position, you don't see many running backs playing well into their 30s, so I think it was good for the Falcons to move on. Overall, I'd grade them B+. I thought they made a number of good moves, and their offense should be one of the best in the league next year. And yeah, overall, I think they should definitely improve on last season, and hopefully for them get back in the playoffs. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment below which division you want me to do next, and keep your eyes open for my next video. Thank you.